Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box with the Technical Trader at techtrader.com. It's Saturday, the 6th of July. This is the weekend webinar. Another solid week for Wall Street, but was it really? We take a look at new all-time highs in the S&P 500 up every day last week and closing at 55.67, highest ever. And in a long-term rising channel that since the October of 22 low has seen the S&P go from 34.91 to 55.67. That's 2,100 points. And that's anyway about 60-70% just in the last couple of years. So I think it was 70%. For the S&P is more like 60. The NDX, as you can see, has gone from the October low of 10,400 to over 20. Oh, sorry, that's to over 20,000. It's 100% in a year and 3 quarters. Pretty amazing move. Looking at it lately, it's a strong 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The fifth wave may not be done yet. Could get a blow off the next couple of days, particularly on short selling, short squeezing. But I'm concerned that the breadth of the market, the leadership, narrow, a light volume type market could cause a sharp sell-off or a blow-off, and before a sell-off. But I do think a sell-off is coming. Just a question of timing. You can see that the 2 and 2.5 week consolidation flag on the NDX resulted in the breakout. S&P similarly, and both of them have designs on maybe going higher, 5,600, 5,750, even 5,900. Nothing's impossible. 6,000 maybe, very possible if there's a blow off or some sort of vertical run up. Nasdaq 100 might very well make it to 21.7 up in that zone. But for now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. The near-term resistance at the channel top target would be about 20,750, thereabout. But, and again, when I was talking about divergences, look at the nasty-looking IWM small cap index. 1, 2, 3, kind of a head and shoulder top. Currently a coil, and if they break down, it could get ugly quickly, and you can see it closed down 0.7% on Friday with making new all-time highs in the Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500. Never a good thing, and the transportation index as well. You can see it's not only gotten up to a declining top sign or a parallel channel top, but formed a wedge and then broken on Friday to the downside, losing 0.77%. So look, when you get the transportation and small cap indexes going down while the NDX and S&P make all-time highs, I'm very concerned. Read my weekend technical market briefing and you'll glean more about what I have to say. That doesn't mean you have to go out and crazy and short everything in sight or sell everything, but I would definitely tighten stops and lighten up a little bit in your various positions on the long side. So let's look at those. Let's look at the underlying technicals. The McClellan oscillator is nowhere near oversold or overbought. It's neutral at 690. It did drop on Friday by 31 points, but it's still in a neutral range. When you get down in that zone, it's oversold, and up there, it's overbought. So we could still get a blow off into that zone and then get a really nasty decline. Very, very much conjecture. Trade what you see now, what you think, and trade what the market gives you, and go with that flow. The percentage of stocks above the 40 also kind of neutral looking, but only a third. And here's the narrowness in the participation. We're making new all-time highs in the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500, and yet only 1 out of 3 stocks is participating. Never a good sign. When you look at the Magnificent Seven, and you know who they are, they're really responsible for more than 50% of what the market indexes are showing. As a result, very narrow market in here. Very concerned. When this gets, down in the somewhere in the 14, 15, 16% range, that's where the market becomes much bigger bargain. And right now, it's not there. What about the VIX? Pretty apathetic down here. If you see a market down in this range, it usually means it's set up for a fall because of the lack of fear. There is no fear. Until the market gets into 20s, 30s, and even 40s, it doesn't present the kind of opportunity long term that we ideally look for. Look at this long term decline. So I want you to take a look at some of the components. And this is what's carrying the market. Apple, all-time highs. Amazon, right there. Google, all-time high on Friday. Microsoft, you guessed it, all-time high. Netflix, just about there. So I think 700 was an all-time high. We're about 10 points away. But really, multi-year highs. The highest since 21. What about the day Meta had on Friday? How about up 30 points? 6% from NASDAQ 100 general is huge, and it is setting a new all-time high on a breakout day. And Tesla, well, certainly rock and roll time. I told you guys when I saw the V bottom of the right-hand extended coil, once this broke out, we could soar. Well, how about a move from 179 to 253, virtually vertically? Are we extended? Sure, but bottom line is the momentum is strong. The real laggard you'd be surprised is NVDA, or you shouldn't be surprised. It's had such a monster move. In October of 22, split adjusted, this was $11. And here it is, getting as high as 140. It's about a 12-fold increase. It's a rough 1,100% or something like that in a year. I mean, it's ridiculous. So this pattern coming down off the high with a reversal bar and then forming what looks like a bear flag is an ominous setup for a market leader. Doesn't mean the market has to collapse, but without NVIDIA, I'd be hard-pressed market to be doing anything. My guess is if the market does go and blow up stage, this will retest the highs, but may not make a new one. We'll see. Whole conjecture. This is a massive move, and as you can see, a long 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or it's a 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5 is just a 1, 2 of 5. And we can see a 3, 4, 5 and get this up to 250 if the market blows off. Again, all conjecture. I'd be more concerned with the downside and support at 118. That could lead down to 108 or even 105 in that zone. That's your next major support for NVIDIA. A lot of time spent on that. Look at the major ETFs. The SMH, which leads the way, broke out through resistance to declining top line lateral price resistance and the moving averages. Hasn't taken out the highs just yet. But when you look at the financials, you'll see we're not close to breaking out. What about biotechs? That too has work to do. We're not that close to breaking out. As a matter of fact, they're negatively diverging from tech stocks. So biotechs and financials are trailing tech. And with a narrow market and lack of participation and weakening breadth, you know what I mean. The market's set up for a big hit, but again, don't stand in front of a runaway freight train. We'll have plenty of time to react if the market comes down. It'll probably come down hard and fast with a big negative tick just to start. And then beyond that, we'll see. I'm not turning bearish. I'm telling you what to expect. Okay, so now the other major ETFs we follow. Here's another reason to be concerned with gold going the way it is. Money's pouring into defensive stuff like gold, utilities, and whatever. GDX, NUGT, as you know, and JNUG, among 3 ETFs I follow closely. Looking good. Stocks like AU. Look at that move on Friday. That's one of my favorites. So, and silver, AGQ, breaking out and looking like it's starting a 5th wave up, which could get it into the 50 and even 60 range at some point. So now I'm turning bullish on gold and silver. Yes, that's right. Again, the trend is your friend. The trend seems to be up on these, and they've come off of nice consolidations. What about oil and gas? Well, the pressure on the transportation group, I think, is coming from the big run up in oil. Take a look. The USO alone has gone from 70 to 82 in the last month. It's a big jump in a month. It's one of the biggest moves we've seen in a short period of time, equal to that, which could lead to even higher levels. Gas. Well, I mean, it's going the opposite way. Look at oil getting hammered. This is a great swing for us in there. But it came down, bounced, and double topped, and then rolled over. We're now at the lows, all-time lows on oil, and even getting close to it on natural gas, the commodity. Meanwhile, the opposite, KOLD, has gone from under 35 to almost 60. So that's a massive move. Obviously, KOLD overbought and nearing and in a resistance zone nearing the major declining tops line. So let's look at some of the major ETFs: gold, silver, oil, and gas. There's others, but right now we have some stocks to talk about. A lot of still bullish charts still, and here's how they look. Alcoa, after a big drop for over a year, broke out of a base, flag, popped, and wedged. Now it's breaking out again. If the fifth wave comes in, this might be a $50 to $53 stock at some point. With precious metals, gold and silver, and other rare earth metals, aluminum, steel, there's bullish tendencies in all of those. The one thing I haven't even shown you is that with the Apple chart as strong as it is, the ETF or tracking ETF, which is twice the percentage move of Apple, has gone from the April low, that's AAPU by the way, 2071 to 3757. It's a 70-point move in a couple months on an ETF for Apple. Pretty impressive. ACHR, after a multi-month decline, it's about a 6-7 month decline. Pop, pull back, retest the moving average, and then take off. In the last 3 days alone, it's gone from 345 to 495, and now my targets are going to be 5.5 and 6.75. Beautiful little low-priced biotech ADMA has gone from 3 to nearly 12, and you can see the target now is close to 14. In the gold sector, major gold AEM coming out of a base, a strong run-up and a consolidation. There's your breakout. Next leg, 74 and 80. AUYE in the software section. Strong run-up, pull back, and a break back out. Although Friday was a negative reversal day, keep an eye on this one for down the road potential to mid-20s. In the junior gold sector, AGI with a beautiful basing pattern, breakout, wedge, and pop, looking for a $20, $21 stock. HEQ, we showed you that silver ETF bullish. ALAR, love the way this software stock's acting. After moving in a slow angle, it accelerated. Give you a little bit of a one-day pullback and come right back up into a new high. I have a target at 60. AMD and AMDL. If you look at AMD breaking out finally, Friday was the big day for it. Up 782. AMDL, the ETF for it, has some work to do, and with resistance at 19.5, you get through that though. You may see 22. AMSC, a beautiful long-term pattern. This stock has popped, flagged, and now it's breaking back out again. 31 is my next target. AORT, beautiful base breakout, consolidation, and then stair-step your way higher. Recently breaking out of a large coil. Now it had a negative reversal day Friday, but let's see where that goes. 29 target. APEI, that's a educational stock with a major rising channel, also breaking out and now flagging. Upside target 21.5 and 26. ARQT, after a big run up and a long 1, 2, 3 wave corrective, it's moving back out again. There may be a move on this one to first target of 13.5 and then 17. ASTS breakaway gap, 3-day pullback, spike up flag, and now rising channel. Target 17. AU, we mentioned earlier, that's my favorite gold stock, period. Take a look at this. If you can get across that line, you got a shot at the all-time highs of 38.5. Not all-time, but multi-year highs. AVPT, a beautiful rising channel for this software infrastructure stock, and with an extension target at 12. BCRX, long downtrend, V bottom platform, breakout, retest. Right there's the point where I would consider this with a tight stop and a target over 7. You get to 7, 7.75, and 9 are targets. In the restaurant chain, we have Dutch Brothers, a competitor of Starbucks coffee chain. Beautiful rising channel. Stair-step move upward, little flag in there. If it can punch through this line, you might see mid to high 40s. Kava, yet another restaurant chain that broke out of a base and just kept running, currently coiling. Looks like a long 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave target, 118. The largest uranium purveyor, Cameco, a beautiful rising channel, currently in a pullback falling wedge of sorts. Targets 56 and 63. CDE in the gold sector, core, just broke out of a flag on Friday. It looks like it could run 7.5 next. CDNA, a beautiful year-long inverse head and shoulders, breakaway gap, and a beautiful coil. Friday it may have broken out. I'm looking for 20. CECO in the environmental group, beautiful rising channel at the low end of the longer-term rising multi-year channel, now targeting 33. CENX in aluminum group, breaking out of a base, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth waves underway, targeting high 20s. Colgate Palmolive, phenomenal recent chart that's seen this go from 69 to 100. Doesn't look like it's done yet. I can see 110, 115. CLBT, base, breakout, retest, creating a rising channel, set up a nice consolidation, and if it's about to punch it, if it does, 14 and 17 targets. CLS coming out of a base and a beautiful rising tight channel, currently coiling or flagging. Take a move through here and you're looking at mid-70s. COA chart, tech trader swing. I like this chart. I like the current consolidation. Next target, 85 and 100. CORZ, not too long ago, IPO from the base, broke out with a breakaway gap, now forming a beautiful coil, targeting 14 and 17. Koya, although the overall chart pattern doesn't look as strong as you want to see, it's got a 5-wave decline, a little mini base. Friday looked like a reversal day. Keep an eye on this one. There may be some big news coming out this month. It could spike the stock up into double digits. CRBP, breakaway gap, little wedge form, then a rising channel. I don't think it's done until it gets up to 100. This could double from here. Could be really interesting, and or maybe a takeover. Credo, breakaway, flag, mini pennant. Good Momo, looking for high 30s. Carvana, massive move in the last year and a half. It's taken us from literally under 4 to over 135. Pretty amazing move. Target 180. Dell. We gave you Dell in a breakout back here in August when it was trading in the high 60s. It almost tripled to 180 nearly, and now a coil's developed. It's going to have to take a pop above 150 to get going again. If so, your target is going to be back to 180. DRS, this aerospace stock, had a beautiful rising channel for a year and a half. Looks like it has momentum. Next target, 28.5. DYN, also good momentum. Breaks through multiple tops, forms a wedge, pops coils, pops flags, and does it again. I don't think this will be done until it gets to 45 and then 58. EBS, tech trader swing, breakaway gap, wedge, rising channel, looking like $10 is coming. EGO, another junior gold stock with a great chart. One of the better ones too. Look, multi-year highs. Not that many golds are doing that. Target 20. NVDA, 5-wave decline. That saw a drop from the low 20s to the $5 range. Subsequently coming right back up again with a pop coil, rising channel, currently flagging. Target 20. EXK Junior Silver Stock, beautiful move up, great chart, coming out of a flag, looking for 5 and 6.5. FCX and a copper group, breaks out of a base, retests, moves up to the targets, pulls back, right now breaking back out again, a mini inverse head and shoulders, or whatever you want to call that. It's consolidating, next test, 55 and 61. Form factor in the semiconductor group, beautiful long-term chart, coming out of a wedge here, target 65. GDX we showed you earlier. The GDX, you all look the same, very bullish. GEO, which I gave you as a swing back in October around 8, has subsequently doubled to more than 16. Over the last couple months, though, it's consolidating, testing a couple times, and moving back up again. My target, 18. Halzyme, beautiful base, breakout, and a beautiful wedge. This should be a tech-traded swing. A move over 53, I think gets me 60. HMY, another gold stock with a great looking chart, looking for a follow through to 11. HOOD comes out of a base, forms a coil, looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth wave is a 1, 2. I think 3, 4, and 5 are coming. This could be a $30 stock. Harrow, tech traded swing, pop, consolidate, and stair step your way higher, looking for a move into the mid 20s. IDN, explosive move, falling wedge, breakout. We gave you a swing trade. They made it to target 1 and backed off. It's come on again. Get through 4.5, we may see 5 1/4 and 6. INOD, breakaway gap, rising channel, and a pullback. Now coming on yet again. I have targets at 18 and 21 too. INSM with a massive gap, breakaway from a base, and a rising channel. A little bit of a pullback, but a big engulfing reversal day Friday. I'm looking for 84 and 99. IREN breaks out of a coil, surges sharply, forms a flag, and breaks out. Extension to 2021. Jemiah, with a move off of the pullback falling wedge in April, has done a 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth wave target 13, and initial target 10.5. COS with a massive move Thursday that started to explode from under 5 to 18, pulled back, but it may be a sit up. Let's see if it's either follows through the 18 range or sets up a consolidation of the next couple weeks. LBPH, major breakaway gap in January, 6 months of nothing, finally breaking out this week, and I mean with a big move from 20 to 36. Extension move 40. LSF, pop falling wedge, pop flag, breakout, we put a swing on it. It had a nice move, and now it's pulling back. Still looking for more, $8 target. MEDS, pop wedge, pop pullback retest, explode, and a 2-day wedge. Target 21, 27. Mesoblast, breakaway gap, running gap. Big move, pullback retest, pop out and coil. Looks like it's coming on again. Next target, $10. 3M, tech trader swing after it broke out here, made it up to target number 1, and now it's coiling. Looking for 112 and 119. NNE, recent IPO with a pop coil, pop wedge. There's your wedge, and there's a little platform. If we break out of this pattern, I wouldn't be shocked to see 50. NRIX, nice long-term chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave started with a 1, 2. If wave 3, 4, and 5 come in, we could see mid-20s and even 30 or better. NTRA, tech trader swing, exploded from the mid-60s not too long ago, tagged 117 and change. My target, 125 and 135. Nugget, we showed you earlier. PAS, we did not show you. This is a silver purveyor, one of the top 2. Pop wedge, pop flag, breakout again. Once you get over 23, 25, and 28 are your targets. Puma, low price stock that's emerging after popping a flag in a 3-wave corrective flag to test the breakout point. It spiked last week. I think we're going to extend this one to 7 3/4. Impinge breaks out here in November, late October. I put a day trade, a swing on it. At that time in the $60 range, it is tripled to near 180. Currently flagging and moving out of that. My target's 200. Palantir back up against resistance from the March highs in a really nice looking long-term channel. You may recall when it had the inverse head and shoulders and broke out here, I put a swing on it in the low teens. It made it to high 20s. Target now 34. POET, this junior semiconductor, popped, falling wedge, broke out hard this week. It may still run. I'm looking for $5. RDW, another low price stock with a breakout and a run. Extension target is 9. REBN, breakaway gap, coil, pop, flag, and breakout, targeting mid-teens. This could double. Keep an eye on that. RGS with a massive gap and a beautiful coil. Tell you what, if they get through 25 in this one, this could really run. Low to mid-30s potentially. Rivian breaks out of a base after an inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, or rounding bottom, whatever you want to call it. It broke out there. It's now wedging. The measured move, about 6 points. So my target, 19, right there. RNA, tech traded swing from here. It's done very well for us. From about 8 to 40, 5-fold increase and flagging. Where's this going? 50 and 60. Seed, exploded, coiled for 2 months, exploded again, flagging for 2 months, almost. Ready soon for, I think, a move. 6 1/4 and 7 3/4, 8. SFM, sprouts, beautiful move up, very tight rising channel. Next target, 100. SG, Sweet Greens and Others restaurant chain with a breakaway gap and a 1, 2, 3, 4 falling wedge at support and a potential buying point with a tight stop. If it does go, targets 38 and 48. SLNH broke out of a base through the declining top line and had a strong run before the falling wedge. Let's see if we can retest 8.5. SMR making new highs here. Very powerful looking chart for me. It might accelerate into the mid-teens. Scorpio Tankers in the shipping group, very strong breakout here, retest there, and now double top. We get to that, 90 is your target. Teva Pharmaceuticals, another beautiful chart. It's taking this one from high single digits to high teens, and now flagging. Target 20. TSEM, that's Tower Semi, strong move up. Momentum should carry this to the mid-40s if the market does go. TSLL, we showed you earlier, and same with TSLR and TSLT. These are all Tesla tracking ETFs. Fantastic charts, a little bit overbought. Uber popped out, we gave you a swing on it, it ran to target number 1, now it's consolidating. Target number 2, 77. Up. It certainly did do that with a dramatic run. It's seen it go 10 out of 11 days up, but at resistance. An extension takes it to 6. Vico, beautiful long-term chart coming through multiple tops here and consolidating. And the last run saw it go from 32 to Friday's high of almost 50. Extension target 60. Vital Farms breaks out of a base and just keeps running. Momentum could take this to 55 and 60. Varonis breaks out of a base, runs up and coils. The coil broke last week. The extension target is 53. VRRM, this infrastructure operator, has seen a move from the low teens to the high 20s. The extension target is 31. Western Digital, beautiful base breakout rising channel. Now, I don't know if it's going to be able to get up to the high, but if it does, I would look for 88. WGS Tech Trader Swing, fantastic chart, keeps rising and going. Extension target now 35. Wheaton Precious Metals, the largest silver purveyor, breaking out of a coil, heading for the high of 58 through that 62. Zap with a monster move the last couple of days has tripled it, but this is huge volume, 64 million shares. I'm looking for a test of 6 3/4. That's it on the long side. I got some shorts to cover, and we'll call it good. For now, alphabetically, let's take a look at AKAM. Long-term, ugly, declining channel. That's the bear flag, my friends. And if it breaks down from here, it could get whacked even further to about 80. AMN broke a massive top from the rising wedge. We told you that was a short there. Dropped from 79 to 48, and it looks lower. 41.2 target. AMWD I put on last week. Head and shoulder, a rounding top broken. Declining channel in force. It's at support. If it breaks here, 70 and 66 are targets. BBWI, it was added as well, but this has gone straight down with virtually no rally. Love to see it bounce back to 38.9 and then a short into the low 30s. BRZE, after a 1, 2, 3, 4, may be poised to roll over again, but also got to be careful it doesn't break back out on this one. Technicals look a little bit too good to be short. CDW, like a head and shoulder top breakdown, two tests, and another breakdown with a bearish engulfing bar on Friday. Folks, if this breaks, we're looking at a move down to at least 200 in my opinion. And Dash, well, after a big rising channel, there's your breakdown. A long bear flag. Downside targets, 92.85. And Disney, well, it still looks bad to me. After breaking down there from the neckline of Head and Shoulders, it's moving steadily lower. Downside target, 89. GitLab, very similar to what we just saw with CDW, I believe it was 1, 2, 3, 4, back up to the resistance, but if it fails, I can see 39.5, 40. INFA, breakdown, bear flag, breakdown, bear flag, breakdown, rising bear flag, and at a resistance point. If it fails, you could have a massive decline into the mid-20s. INMD, terrible chart, and it has been for 3 years now, but it doesn't look any better, does it? Right on support. If it fails to get below 17, you may see 12, 13. JBL just added this one. It looks like a head and shoulder type top. It broke down and stayed down. It's underneath support with the next target of 100 and then 88. MDB, very similar breakdown and then snap back to the resistance level. If it fails, keep an eye. Next target 192 from 266. Restoration Hardware, kind of a head and shoulder breakdown and rising wedge. If it fails right here, right in there, it could collapse. I wouldn't be surprised to see 185. SIG, the definitive tech trader swing short. That's a bear wedgie after breaking down. I'm looking for a move to 75. SMTC broke down hard with a breakaway gap and forming a bear flag. Let's see if it breaks out or down. If it rolls over, first target 28, second target 25. TNET breaks down, forms a wedge, breaks down, forms a mini flag, and has that support. Any further damage here, it's going to collapse to 90 in my opinion. And finally, Yelp, after breaking down and forming a big rising flag, broke down again and now has a falling flag, which is ominous for a move into 33.4, even 30. That's a look at the weekend webinar, folks. The technicals, the underlying technicals, as well the indices, all the exchange traded funds that are relevant that we follow closely every week. A list of longs, about 100, and a couple dozen shorts. So that's it for this weekend. I really implore you to all take a quick look at and review this a couple times and get some ideas for next week. You're going to need to know where support resistance lies on anything that you're interested in. If you didn't see something here today that you like, private message me and I'll give you my take on whatever stock you have. For now, this is HP out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, everybody.